the case?
Yeah, that doesn't help us very much, and I'm not really sure that I have a good answer to how to solve the problem. But I'm looking at it as a constitutional violation when you have 90% of the custody decisions awarded to the mothers. For whatever reason, that cannot be right. It's kind of like Brown versus Board of Education when Washington, D.C. was having schools for only black children and then schools for everyone else. I mean, that was only in the 50s. And the Supreme Court finally said, equal protection, 14th Amendment requires no segregation. But that was only 50 years ago, and that case is kind of similar in a way because it's using equal protection. Each group of people, the government cannot break people down into groups like race or gender or religion and treat them differently. And that's what my case is about, is I'm being treated differently because of my gender.
Now, you also have, apart from equal protection, you also have some claims about due process. Is that true?
I'm not sure if I had that in there, but because I'm not sure that would help me. I mean, I had plenty of due process. I mean, they love due process because it gets me into court, and I get yelled at by the lawyers, by the judge, and people do make a lot of money off of due process. So I think I got plenty of process, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Which the general idea behind due process for our listeners is that you haven't been given your day in court, and that therefore you're entitled to some review of the decision that was made because you weren't properly given your day in court. Equal protection is a different claim, and that's based on the 15th Amendment, and that's where your segregation with the schools decisions come from, and any other sort of gender discrimination or race discrimination claims come from. Correct?
Right. The Hogan versus Mississippi was a great example because it dealt strictly with gender. It wasn't a divorce case, but it was strictly gender discrimination. The states shall not do it, and that's it was a beautifully written brief by O'Connor.
Okay. So I want to reiterate one more time for our listeners, your website. Can you please share that address with us one more time, please?
Oh, yes. It's calclient.com.
Okay.
And that's C-A-L, client, C-L-I-E-N-T, .com. You can find it under information website for contractors, which is a business that I have. But I will put my cases there available for downloading to anybody.
Okay. And for our listeners out there, by viewing Monty's case, then that will help you. He cannot give you legal advice, but that'll help give you some idea as to the steps that he followed when he got into court. So for those of you with some similar complaints or some similar experiences, perhaps it can help you get started without having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a team of attorneys.
Exactly. I got into the 4th District Court with a 5-page brief that I wrote myself, not that complicated, and $250. Cost the state about $40,000. I think if a couple thousand dads did this, we might get some notice on this issue of the constitutionality of gender bias against fathers.
Okay. And are there any other parting thoughts that you wanted to share with us tonight?
Oh gosh, just glad that I could be on the show, and I hope this information helps some people, and maybe we'll be able to continue it through. And I'll have some news from the 9th Circuit within a few months, and who knows what will happen.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for agreeing to be with us tonight, and I know that it was information that's useful to other people out there. And also thanks to our listeners for joining us again, and please remember to tune in again next week.
Thank you, Angeline.